Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, the status of a pension plan for Liat employees among pressing matters for upcoming discussion with trade unions. Head of the Employers Federation calls for innovative ideas to boost the local economy. And trade unions want government subvention to facilitate education campaign. The details coming up.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
First up in the news, Dominican farmers challenged to use recently gained information to increase productivity and profits on the farm. Here is Andrea Louis with a report.
The word from representative of the Caribbean Institution for Meteorology and Hydrology, Adrian Trotman. Trotman was speaking at the opening of a workshop to strengthen the disaster management capacity of women in Guyana and Dominica through the Participatory Integrated Climate Services Agriculture, PICSA.
We focus on a number of those socioeconomic sectors, and agriculture and food security is one of those. The other 4 under the GFCS, our focus is health, water, energy, and disaster risk reduction. But of course, in a Caribbean setting, we cannot leave out the tourism sector. And you'll find that as you discuss, all 6 of these socioeconomic sectors are intertwined. So it's not enough for the extension services personnel to acquire the knowledge and of the approach during this week. But it's most important that the farmer is able to apply it and use it and make critical decisions that would increase productivity and increase profits on the farm. That's what's happening at the end of the day.
Trotman stressed the importance of easy access to information as a means to helping farmers be successful and sustainable.
The whole idea is to make climate services simple. It's one thing to have information on weather and climate. It's another thing to use it and apply it. I always say, everything under the sun is affected by weather and climate. Everything. Even your mood, believe it or not. But at the end of the day, the information has to be useful, usable, and even if it's useful and usable, it still needs to be accessible. Because if you don't know where to find the information, it could be useful, it could be usable, but it's useless nonetheless.
The project, which is geared towards helping women farmers deal with the impact of climate change on their livelihoods, is being implemented in partnership with the UNDP Barbados and UNDP Guyana.
In 2017, the world learned about the devastating impacts on the region, in particular Dominica, the British Virgin Islands, Barbuda, but much less limelight attention was given to the loss and damage in the agricultural sector. Women and men are differently at risk in this sector and have an unequal participation in agriculture. Men have easier access to land, titling, and property, credit, extension services, and other productive assets. And gender defines occupational segregation and differentials in wage, always lower for women. Narrowing the varying impacts and increasing resilience to hazards is one way of eradicating poverty and reducing inequalities.
The status of a pension plan for employees of regional airline Liat is one of the pressing matters that the trade unions plan to discuss with the airline's management. Curtis Augustus, who heads the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, says they were surprised to find out that the pension plan for Liat employees has not been registered. This issue will be at the center of discussions with the management of Liat early next week.
One of the things that the management, I think, is seeking for us to do is to take over the plan. But we have to explore all the possibilities in relation to that. From my standpoint, I have sort of indicated to my chair that I felt that the management of Liat avoided their responsibility, because once the question of the pension fund and the pension plan was conceived, that they ought to know that they had to have that plan registered. And we are, in fact, moving towards trying to get this matter regularized. So we'll be holding some discussions.
Liat's management has provided the union with a proposed agreement where the unions would take over the administration of the employee pension plan. Augustus says the conditions would remain the same.
The management will be deducting from the worker's salary the percentage that would go towards the pension fund, and they will be matching that. But we want to make sure that we have everything fully understood by us in the trade union movement in relation to that. So we will be having discussions with them on Monday of next week during our normal consultative meeting.
Executive Director of the Dominica Employers Federation believes 2020 will be a critical year for the country's economy. Here is Andrea Louis with a report.
Achille Joseph, who heads the DEF, says Dominica's economy has been reliant on the same products, services and practices for the past several years. Joseph believes steps must be taken to think outside the box and generate creative and innovative ideas to boost the local economy.
Well, generally speaking, I think 2020 is going to be a critical year for the economy, especially for private enterprise. It seemed to me that almost private investment have sort of peaked in Dominica, sort of at its max. We are not seeing any area that is being opened up or any new ideas that are coming forth that's going to generate some additional employment and economic activity. It's going to be a year where we're going to require a lot of innovation. We're going to get people to be thinking out of the box. I think the economy has to position itself now to be more competitive. The economy has to look at more productivity. The economy has to look at areas of generating new areas for growth, new areas for investment, new areas for employment creation.
Mr. Joseph stressed that when developing new items and ideas to boost the economy, these must also be export ready.
I think we've maxed out the traditional retail merchandising that we've been doing in Dominica for several years. I think we now need to look to see what else can we do, and not just serve the Dominican public, but the opportunities for export of services and goods even from Dominica. It is no longer necessary to go to Barbados to open a firm or to create a branch somewhere in Trinidad. Through the internet, you can deliver everything through the postal services right from Dominica. So I look forward to some new ideas. I look forward to some new creativity. I look forward to some new partners coming into the private sector. And let us look to see where we can find a niche or where we can be more competitive in the global state of things. Agriculture, Unless it receives a big boost of confidence, I don't see much happening to it, and the traditional retail merchandising, I think it has peaked.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Si ou ni maladie HIV et bien maladie sexuelle, si ou pas protéger corps lors qu'on est sexe avec plusieurs monde, ça kay mette la vie ou en gros danger. Ou ka exposer tout partenaire au poison et que tant qu'il ka vini avec maladie. Servez yon condom chaque fois ou qu'on est sexe. Changer qui est important pour découvrir maladie à bonheur ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Pour responsabilité, protéger corps et puis les autres. Examiner corps. Aidez du bout si même maladie HIV et l'autre maladie sexuelle.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. Trade unions here are appealing to government to make budgetary provision to assist them in carrying out their education programs. Head of the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, Curtis Augustus, says the trade unions need a subvention from government. Augustus says that support would help unions consolidate the knowledge that their members have in terms of responsibilities. The unions also want government to mount a full delegation to this year's ILO meeting.
And when I say full, it will comprise the government, the employers' organizations, and the trade unions. And that, once provided, will be the first time that Dominica, as a country ever since we became independent in 1978, will be participating at the ILO annual meeting. And I think a first is long due, and I believe that the government, since the Prime Minister, some years ago, when I raised the matter in a similar exercise, did indicate to me quite clearly that we were going to go. But then we had the passage of Maria, and that set it aside. So I'm confident now that having made that statement before, that he will make the necessary provisions to have a full delegation at the ILO convention.
Augustus explains why having a significant presence at this year's ILO meeting is beneficial to Dominica.
At the level of the ILO, there are meetings that the employers, the government, and the trade union sit on. And it is at that level that certain recommendations are made and other conventions are in fact agreed upon. And once there is an agreement on a convention, then it becomes the obligation of the country to comply with the provisions of that convention. And if there are reasons for the country not to implement the provision, then they have to give the reasons why they do not. And that is why the report to the committee that is responsible on an annual basis must be done by the countries so that the committee would understand and know why is it that a particular country is having some difficulty in terms of implementing the provisions of the conventions and or the recommendations. And once that is so, then I know that the committee would be monitoring on an annual basis what is happening since. So it becomes critical and important for us as a country to ensure that all of the 26 conventions that we have ratified, that we report on them. And I know that there have been communication from the ILO to Dominica to indicate that we have fallen short in certain areas in terms of reporting. But I also know that efforts are being made to comply with that. And the officer that is responsible is working hard in terms of ensuring that the reports are going to be forthcoming from Dominica.
The annual ILO meeting is usually held in June. A call for the business sector to get more involved in community outreach projects. The call from General Manager of Fort Young Hotel. The Fort Young Hotel recently announced it's partnering with other organizations to help with various community-based projects geared at assisting those in need.
The Fort Young Hotel is trying to encourage all our partners, all the businesses, all those business people who do and have business with the Fort Young Hotel, that we are committed with our community and with our society. We want to encourage them to be part of giving something back. So, just to give you an example, there is an international church doing some construction. They are building homes in Goodwill, for example. They are staying at the Fort Young Hotel. We didn't know that they were doing that here. But now we are trying to partner with them because they are willing to come next year to build more homes for Dominica's people. Then we want to offer them rooms to stay for free because we want to be part of it.
The General Manager appealed to individuals and groups who need help to approach the private sector to seek assistance.
That's why we want to partner with this kind of associations so you can tell us where the job has to be done. And we could bring the manpower, we could get other partners to provide us with the tools, whatever we need. For example, you have a house, you know people by your communities who need to have their house paint or maybe rebuilt, repaired. We can get somebody who gives us the wood, we can have somebody who gives us the paint, and we can bring the manpower. If we don't have it, we can pay for that, but we go all together and do this one time.
The Fort Young Hotel manager encouraged the business community to provide assistance to worthy causes, whether in cash or kind.
There is a lot to do here on this island, and we have the chance, the power to contribute, so why not to do it? There are a lot of people who have big businesses, but nobody goes and knocks at their doors, and that's why they don't do anything. But if you, let's say, you tell somebody, we need a couple of cubes of paint for this, I think they will do it. If they don't want to, you know what I would do? I will ask them, okay, if you don't want to, at least talk to your paint supplier, wherever they're coming from, tell them the cost, and they will be willing to send extra paints just to do that, just to give you some ideas of what we want to do.
And St. Kitts Foreign Affairs Minister Mark Brantley says his country does not regard a U.S. invitation to regional countries to a meeting in Jamaica with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo as a means of dividing CARICOM. CARICOM Chairman and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has said that this meeting, which does not include members of CARICOM, is in fact an attempt to divide the region. As a result, Mottley said her country would not be represented. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley supports her position.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. The status of a pension plan for Liat employees among pressing matters for upcoming discussion with trade unions. Head of the Employers Federation calls for innovative ideas to boost the local economy. And trade unions wants government subvention to facilitate education campaign. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.